1927, China. The northern expedition had been a success, and both the southern and central parts of China was now under KMT control after beating the warlords controlling these areas by force. Chiang was able to secure the allegiance of the warlords of the north peacefully, and China was now to some extent united again. There was, however, still a lot of power struggle from within, and Chiang turned on the CPC and relentlessly chased their leaders and followers from any bases or areas they controlled in the southern and eastern parts of China. This led to the CPC migrating to the northwest in what is called the Long March. During this march, the CPC would organize under a new leader, Mao Zedong. Due to the rising threat of Japan after their attack on the nationalists, Mao ordered the entire army to move east towards the borders of Manchukuo. Plans were being drawn on how a potential defense would play out and fortifications were built. Even with war so close, the industry was booming and recruits were being trained by the thousands. Understanding the importance of having aircraft to support the armies, Mao ordered some of his finest engineers to focus their research on building aircraft suited for combat. An old Japanese plane wreck was hauled and researched in complete secrecy. Afraid of how badly the nationalists were defending themselves against the Japanese, Mao ordered for offensive plans on the Manchukuo front to be made. If he were to wait now, the Japanese would completely occupy the nationalist China, which would lead to a massive front to defend. This was something that he couldn't let happen. 11th of May 1938, war was declared on the Japanese aggressors. With a swift push, Manchukuo surrendered quickly, and the Chinese army could surprise the Japanese and almost surround them completely. Low on supplies, the superior Japanese army tried to relocate to deal with the new threat, but it was too late. Half of the Japanese armies got surrounded, and even if the Japanese soldiers were fearless and better armed than the Chinese, they couldn't battle the hunger. During the period of 1 month, almost half of the Japanese forces died to starvation. Meanwhile, Soviet volunteers were pushing through the southeastern lands occupied by Japan. Mao used this as an excuse to claim more lands from the nationalists, and the Soviets gladly helped. During summer, the fighting turned to small skirmishes, as the Chinese forces would encircle and starve the Japanese troops. This led to most of the Japanese forces either starving or deserting, and during autumn almost all of Korea was under Chinese control. February 1939, all of the Japanese lands to the northeast were occupied by Chinese forces. Focus could now be on the southeast front and pushing the Japanese out from Chinese soil. This push proved harder than the northeastern one, as the Japanese had now dug in and defended every bit of land fiercely. Many Chinese soldiers would die during this year in countless assaults against the Japanese defenses. November the same year, the Japanese forces were overwhelmed and on the run. Most of the coastline was secured, and Mao now ordered for the plans to invade the Japanese islands. Thanks for watching this second episode. It was a bit late, but I wanted it to be good. My vacation just started, so I've also been kind of chilling with the editing a bit too much. Anyways, be sure to sub, like, follow and all that stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Fullbordad out, bye.